All right, let's get started. We're going to start standing and get our body a little bit more awake. I'm going to hold on to my pole for some of these exercises, but you don't need to hold on to anything. I'm just going to do it, because it makes me look less wobbly. We're going to start on one leg and just start circling your ankle. Feel into all the parts of the ankle. Feel into the foot as you circle through, and then circle back the other way. And we're gently going to sweep the leg from underneath the knee, keeping the leg nice and still. So circling from under the knee, and then circle back in the other direction. Great, now we're going to circle the hip. Try and avoid any clunky bits. So you've got to keep a little bit of tone in your core. Here's Ara. And then we're going to go the other way, circling that hip.
Sorry, Deb. I'm here.
That's all right, mate. We only just started. We just need a couple of blocks today. All right, once we're done circling the hip, we're going to take the knee up and then kick the leg back. But it's not big, yeah? We're just warming it up. Just getting some fluid in the hip joint, getting that to loosen. And then we're going to take the foot across the body and sweep it up to the side. Oh, my butt hurts so bad. One more of these. Great. And then we're going to do all that on the other side. So coming onto the other foot, we're going to start with the leg lifted. It doesn't have to be as high as your hip, but as high as you can comfortably hold it, and start to circle the ankle. And then we're going to circle the ankle the other way. Nice, circling from under the knee. I've lost Rachel. And circling back the other way. Great, now we're going to circle from the hip. And circle back the other way. And we're going to swing that leg front and back. And finally across the body, front and side, cross and side. Knee crosses the body, knee opens wide. Good stuff. Planting both feet down. Now we're just going to take some hip circles in one direction. And hip circles in the other direction. Good, soften the knees, so we're sitting into the knees, and we're going to take the ribs in some circles. So really feel the ribs and the shoulders move, but we don't want anything below the belly button to move, which is why we create soft knees. And then going the other way with the ribs. Try to really go 360 degrees around the edge of a circle. And we can stand up straight, let the hands come down, roll the shoulders back. Yay, Rachel's back. 2, 3, 4. And then the other way. And now with the head looking up, down, up, side to side. Ear to the shoulder. And semicircle it through the front and all the way back to the other side. 2 more times. I'm just checking in with where you notice you're a bit tight or a bit stiff today. All right, now we're going to take that firm block that we're going to stand on. We're going to stand on it on one leg. So again, you can either practice your balance or hold on to something. And the first way that we're going to stand on it is, oh, I'm going to angle my camera down a little bit. My feet are more important than my face at this point. Okay. So we want to have the heel on the block and the ball of the foot with the toes spread on the floor. And you're going to stand into that. You can bring the other foot forward to begin with, because that will give you a lot of sensation through the heel. You can always take your foot a little bit further forward to make that comfortable. So we have this line as what's called the superficial back line of fascia, and it connects from the soles of the feet all the way up around the back of the head into the forehead. And so if we want to get our body to recover and relax, it's a really important, the big sling that holds us in, if we've got sore neck and shoulders and back, getting that to release is a very important part of getting the whole body to relax. If you want to try lifting one foot, seeing how much load you can give to that heel, go ahead. It's a bit intense for me today. All right, and then we're going to step that foot off and step the other foot on. So we've got the heel and the ball of the foot. So the heel is on the block, the ball of the foot is on the ground, the toes spread. We're going to try standing into the block, shifting the other foot forward, stacking our hips over the ankle, and then maybe lifting the other leg. See, this foot doesn't mind so much. This side is not unhappy about this. That's the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to come back to behind the block and step the ball of the foot, or it'll actually be across, if you're using depending on what you're using to step on, if it's a couple of books stacked, the height will be slightly different. But I'm using a cork block, so it's across, it's not under the ball of my foot, it's above the ball of my foot. And then my toes have to curl around, and I'm going to lift the other knee as high as I can. That'll be a big stretch on your calf and hamstring, so don't the lower down your foot is, or if your foot is behind you, that will back off the intensity. The more the foot comes forward and up, the higher the intensity gets. All right, standing back down on the ground, we're going to switch to the other foot. Taking the ball of the foot across the prop, whatever it may be, extending the leg, stacking the hip over the ankle, and then maybe bringing the other foot up. So it all starts at the feet. Great. All right, so let's get a little bit more work done with getting the hamstrings and the hips warm. So we're going to stand with the feet wider than the hips, actually just wider than the shoulders, just a little bit. And we're going to take a little squat so the knees are out wide, but the spine is long and straight. Coming back up by squeezing the bottom. Don't over thrust. We don't want to fully extend the hip. We're going to about 98% of hip extension. Cool, so we should never feel the hip lock at the top. Last one here, staying at the bottom. Bring the arms forward and imagine that you're squeezing into an imaginary ball. Squeeze, pulse, pulse, pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the arms. Stay down in the squat. Bring them up overhead now and imagine the ball's above the head. Pulse and squeeze for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to keep the arms by the ears, extend the legs and bring the hands down onto the ground. We can just gently bend and stretch the knees. Again, when we extend the legs, we don't want to go to full 100% extension. We're only going to 98% of knee extension. You can flex as much as you like though. So extension means straightening. Taking the hands over to one side, the other knee is going to bend out to the little toe, and your bottom is going to follow that movement. One more. Keep that knee bent. Now we're going to turn towards the straight leg and pivot onto the heel. Good. Bring your hand to the outside of the leg if you can. You might need to walk your other foot further back so you're down a bit deeper. And now extend and bend, facing more to the side than to the front. Fantastic. Turning that foot back to the front now. So both feet are parallel. We'll take the hands across to the other side and bend the other knee. Making sure the hip is following the movement. Take it down and stay there. Pivot onto the heel so the toes turn towards your nose. Step the hand to the outside of the foot. Extend and bend. Fantastic. Now we're going to get to sit down is the good news. Roll up slowly. The bad news is that we're going to have to work to get there. So we're going to work our bottom really hard to get to the floor. Bring your heels in so that our feet are turned out just a little bit. So you want the outside line of your heel to track with your third toe, second and third toe. Don't be more turned out than that. You do not want the outside of your heel to track with your big toe, just the second or third toe. Arms are going to come up over the head. Take a big breath in, get super tall. And then bend the knees, send them out wide to the sides. Start to lower down into our nice wide sumo squat. Take a breath in. Bring it down a little deeper. Anita, your back is so lovely and straight. Good. How low can you go? Keep pushing those knees out wide. They're going to start to want to buckle. Don't let them. Now bring the hands down in front of your chest. I want you to feel your shoulders and your arms pull in opposite directions. Breathe in. And then sink the bottom down, breathe out, hold it, take one more breath in, and we can finally sit on the floor. Don't let your feet move, just bring them forward so they're on the other edge of the mat. So your bum is on the back edge of the mat and the feet are on the front edge of the mat. All right, I'm going to change the position. Now we're sitting down. Give me 1 second. You guys just get to hold there. 2. I don't want to see that wall. I just want to see my mat. There it is. Great. Cool. So I'm sitting at the back of the mat. My feet are up on the edges. And the first thing we're going to do, you don't have to have something behind you. You can bring your hands down on the ground behind you. Is just rotate the knees from side to side. Now, when you rotate your knees to the side, just check in. Is there about 90 degrees at both of your knees? Then bring them back up. Sitting on both hips evenly, rotating to the side. Is there about 90 degrees at both of my knees? Up to the center, over to the side. Inhale them up, exhale them over. Up on the breath in, over on the breath out. Up on the breath in, over on the breath out. Now we're going to come all the way back up and over, and we're going to pause here. So, make sure this knee doesn't come forward of your hip. We want to take it back. Cool. So the knee is back in line with the front of your hip bone and that the heel is tracking with the knee. The heel is tracking with the knee is tracking with the hip bone on both sides. To begin with today, you're going to bring so this is my right leg that's in front, whichever one for you. The opposite hand is going to come up towards the heel, or you can hold onto your foot, whichever you prefer. And the same arm as the leg is going to come to the outside of the knee. Keep the collarbones and the shoulders nice and wide as you breathe in looking up, and breathe out, start to fold from the hip forward over the leg. It's okay if your back butt cheek lifts. Slowly roll up through the spine. Roll down through the spine. Roll up and down. Roll up one more time. And down. Now, before we get to stretch our glutes, we have to get them working. So we're going to rotate to the right. So this is my right leg. Your left hand is now going to press down on your right knee, if this is your right leg in front. So the opposite hand pushes down on the knee. And this one will come around to the side in line with your hip. Try and get nice and tall. I want you to lift your pelvic floor as you breathe in, and then lift your back heel as you breathe out. Good. Lower with control. Inhale. Keep it nice and flex for me. Lift as you exhale. Now the body isn't moving. It's just that heel lifting. 3, 4. We got one more, then we're going to switch to lifting the knee. 5. So push the heel down, lift the knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to lift the whole leg. 1. Oh, is that butt cheek waking up yet? 3, 4. Hold it here. Now we're going to extend the leg and we're going to bring the arms up. So the foot, the leg is fully extended, the arms are in line with the shoulders, and we're trying to get our foot as high as our hands when they're in line with our shoulders. Can we do that and sit upright? If you can't do it today, don't worry. It's going to come. All right, from here, we're going to sweep the leg back, pop it back down, turn to the side. We lift the leg, extend it. The arms and the leg both circle towards each other. Good, then we rotate the arms away as the leg comes down. We got 3 more of these. Lift and extend, rotate, make sure that hip rotates down into the floor, and then take it back and place it down. 2 more. Lift, extend, as we rotate, place the hip down, take it all the way back, pop the knee on the ground. Last one, lift, extend, hip down, bring it back all the way to the ground. All right, we're going to bring the knees up to the center, bring the hand that was on your knee behind you. We just get to roll them out for a second, do some little windshield wipers. My bum always shuffles forward when I do that. It's very annoying. And then let's rotate to the other side. Okay, so now that we're here, making sure that knee is behind the hip, this knee is in line with the hip bone, heels are where they're supposed to be. Hand on the knee, hand on the ground. Getting nice and tall, lifting the pelvic floor, lift the heel 5, lift the heel 4. We want this to come from under the butt. 3, 2, good, 1 more. 1, push the foot down on your breath in, lift the knee on the breath out. 2, I feel like my right hip never wants to go anywhere. 3, 4, 5, the whole leg now. I find this so hard on this side. Lift 1, 2, 3, 2 to go, 4, hold it up on 5. Now we're going to extend the leg, bring it forward and sit on the butt cheek. And we're trying to get that foot as high as the hands with a nice straight spine. Sweep it back, pop it down, hands turn around. There's 1, lift, rotate, sweep, replace, lift, rotate, sweep, replace. 2 to go. Make sure you're really energizing the heel each time. Last one. Ugh. Excellent stuff. Coming back to the center now. Letting those knees move from side to side. Okay, let's do our forward folds. So we're going to start with the soles of the feet together. And we want quite a long diamond shape. This is to make your low back comfortable, your hips comfortable. We're not overusing the hamstrings. We're not overusing the adductors. It's a nice long diamond. We're going to sweep the belly in, start to pour our body weight forward, move the flesh from under our bottom back, and bring the hands underneath the low shins so the thumbs rest in the arches of the feet and the hands on the tops of the feet. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Take a long breath in here. And then pressing out through the elbows, start to curl forward as you breathe out. We're going to do that again, lengthening through the spine, lifting the chest as we breathe in, and slowly folding forward and down as we breathe out. One more time. And staying here for 3 breaths. releasing the hands first, just seeing where you're at, and then slowly rolling up and stacking the spine. Cool. So I'm going to just turn to the side so I'm not on the short edge of the mat. Extending one leg out in front of you, the other foot is going to step across the knee. We'll take both arms up towards the ceiling. So this is my right leg that's crossed over my left. My right hand is going to come down behind me. Your left elbow will press your right knee away as you rotate to the side. Now I want you to think about the collarbones spreading open as you breathe in and the shoulders rolling down the back as you breathe out. Now lift the ribs off the hips, inhale, twist further as you exhale, like you're wringing water out of a sponge. Again, lifting as we breathe in, twisting as we breathe out. Coming back to the middle, half shoelace time, guys. So this right knee is going to come over the left leg. We want the top of the right foot on the ground, cool? So not the sole, the top of the foot. And you can use your arm to try and wedge that in as tightly as you can. Sometimes you might need to step your right hip further back to make that accessible. Now your left arm is going to come up and behind your head, which is what I just demonstrated with my sleeve. Left arm up and behind your head. Good. Your right arm is going to come around behind you and see if you can find your left fingertips. If the answer is no, you can use a piece of clothing or you can make it easier and just hold on to the top of the elbow. Now, without letting your ribs pop out or your head drop forward, we want to keep the chin tucked in, the back of the neck nice and long, lengthen up out of the hips as you breathe in, and start to pour your body weight forward as you breathe out. Good, extending through the sides of the waist, inhale, long neck, and folding over the ribs and the hips as you breathe out. One more time, getting nice and long on the inhale, and folding as you exhale. Staying here. Now lengthen on the inhale. Push your tailbone down as you exhale. Come all the way back up as you breathe in and release your hands as you breathe out. We're going to step the hands forward, wrap the armpits down, lengthen the spine, inhale, and bend the elbows to fold forward as we exhale. You can repeat that process as many times as you like. Extend the arms forward as you breathe in and bend the elbows to fold. Just be careful that the shoulders don't approach your ears. They need to stay set on your back, on the backs of your ribs. That takes practice. All right, coming up, we're just going to have a little rotate from side to side. Take a very gentle twist through the ribs here. We're going to come into full shoelace now. Very quickly getting warm today. Off we go, Mr. Jumperino. Okay, full shoelace. This one, so this is my right foot on top. I'm going to need to get my left foot to come over to my hip and my knees to stack. In order to do that, I'm going to have to do two moves. First move, hands come over to the left and my right butt cheek lifts off the floor. Then I start to bring my left foot towards my right butt cheek. Second move, hands reach forward and I squeeze into my knees and then I can sit back onto the mat. You want to have your hips in between your heels. Now, my hips are super sore. This is class number 9 for the week. So my hips are really feeling it. Take a moment here just to get both hips evenly down on the ground and to feel comfortable. Gosh, I don't even have a tight wrap today. And while we're sitting here, we're going to do a couple of stretches for our neck to begin with. So just drop your ear to the right, place your right hand on top of your head and push your left hand down towards the ground. Good. You can turn your left hand in and out like this. Pause the turning, so the hand needs to stay in position as you rotate it. You can now take the nose towards the armpit and you can rotate again. pause the rotation. Keep pressing down through the left hand. We're going to slowly pivot the chin up, keeping the back of the neck long, keeping the head in position. We're just turning the chin up towards the ceiling. Good, holding that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the head. Slowly lengthen the neck, coming back to the center. And now we'll see if we can curl the spine in and take the hands forward. Slow, deep breaths here. It's a pretty intense stretch, the pretzel or full shoelace. Last 2 breaths. And slowly coming up. We're going to take an additional twist, thoracic mobility, keeping it in check. So the foot that was on top is going to come into the knee, and we're going to push our hips further back. Arms come up by the ears. We're rotating in the same direction, so that left arm will push the right knee away. As you see how far you can spiral to the right. This is a spiral twist. And then come back to the middle. Extend your legs. Give them a shake. Take your groove thing. Come around to the other side. You can stay where you are. I'm just going to the other side because it's more visible. All right, so we're going to take the left leg on top. Over the knee, that's right. And we're twisting away. So we're going to sit up nice and tall once that leg is crossed. And rotate away from it, spiraling away. Your left hand will be on the ground. Now, if you prefer, you can use your right arm to pull the entire length of the thigh over. So you've got the option of using the elbow and open chest, energizing the fingers, or you can pull the leg across further. Getting really tall, and then rotating. One more time, length. And deepen the twist as you exhale. Coming back to the center, let's find that half shoelace position. So it's our left foot crossed over our right, or you might have done something else, your mileage may vary, that's fine. So once we're here, it's going to be the right arm coming up and the left arm coming under, or the left arm might reach over, depending on you. Nice long neck. Pulling the ribs in, lengthening the spine, take a breath in and start to fold forward as you breathe out. You'll find your first boundary, just pause there, take an inhale, lengthen, come in a little deeper as you exhale. Your body will tell you when to stop, listen. Take another breath in and fold a little deeper if it's available to you as you breathe out. Pausing here for 3 breaths. Now, arch the back, breathe in, push the bottom down, breathe out, all the way back up, inhale, and release the hands as you exhale. Round 2 in our half shoelace, taking the arms forward now. Wrap the shoulders down and back, so we're going to hug the elbows down, chest lifting, breathe in, and bend the elbows to fold, breathing out. Walk the hands a little further forward. Repeat the process. Lift the chest and bend the elbows. One more time. Now, keeping those shoulders down, you can allow the head to melt forward. Just don't allow the shoulders to lift. They're wrapping down towards your chest. Relax the face. And slowly up. Okie doke, full shoelace time. So, this foot is going to come back next to our hip. So the hands came over to the right, so I could shift my left leg back, right leg back. Now I'm going to cross the knees together, bring the hands forward. Really squeeze into the knees so I can sit my bum down. Ooh. Yow. My body's got a lot of stories to tell about this one today. Getting that left butt cheek down feels like an absolute mission. Yikes. All right, so Head went to the right last time. It's going to go to the left this time. So the left hand will go onto the head. Is that correct? Okay. And the right hand is pressing down. And we can start to turn that hand in and out if it feels good. Pause. Take the nose towards the armpit. And you can try that again. Pause, keep the arm absolutely still and keeping the neck and the head where they are. Slowly take the chin up towards the ceiling. Bring the left hand off the head. Slowly bring it up to the center and turn it to the front. We'll bring the hands forward, push the tailbone down, lift the chest, breathe in, and fold as we breathe out. Again, lift the chest, inhale, keep the tailbone down as you fold, exhale. One more time. And slowly coming up. Okay, unravel the legs, give them a shake, shake, shake a groove thing. We're going to come into our butterfly stretch now. It's going to angle a little bit more towards you. So if this one's a bit different than the first one we did, the cobbler, this one, the heels come close to your groin. And you can walk your bum close to your heels as well. Use your elbows to press the knees out wide to the side. And slowly take your weight all the way over onto one butt cheek. Good. Look over at the knee that's lifted and just think about using your active flexibility, your own strength to push it further open. And once it's there, come back slowly to the center, keeping that new distance. Keeping the same new distance, we're going to rock over to the other butt cheek, so careful this knee doesn't lift, and then use your strength to open it further. Coming back to the center slowly, keeping the distance between the two legs. Press your elbows down wherever they are on your thighs. Lift the chest, breathe in. Push out and down through the arms as you breathe out. Now lengthen the tailbone back. Lift the chest, inhale. Try and fold a little deeper as you exhale. Great. Holding here for 3 breaths. Slowly coming up and then finding your prop. Extending the legs out, give them a little shake. So we want to have a 2-fist distance between the feet here and really encourage the tailbone back. This is going to use time rather than effort. Actually, I'm going to turn it sideways. So you can walk your own bum backwards to tip your chest forwards. You've got 2 different ways you can use the block here in Western Staff. So you can have the block ready to release to get your forehead for you. Or if you find it really hard to forward fold and get your chest in front of your hips, put the block under your bum and sit on the edge. So that will tip you forward instead. Or you can use the cushion under your butt for that and the block ready for your forehead here. Just relax your arms by the sides, elbows nice and heavily bent. See if you can draw your chest forward as you breathe in. And maybe your forehead will meet the block. Maybe not yet. Take your chest forward, inhale. See if the forehead will meet the block as you exhale. And the one edge, the far edge of the block will lift as your forehead pulls the block into your face. And that's totally fine. We want that chin to tuck. And just keep the shoulders relaxed. You can repeat that process until your face meets the block. You can prop your bum up further if you need more help tipping forward. Just keep breathing here. Some people will get a lot of sensation through the neck and shoulders. I am one of them. Without the support of the block, I almost find this impossible to maintain because there's so much nerve stretching going on through my traps and through my neck. And then slowly come out of that. We want to stack one vertebrae at a time. So you're going to need to pull the navel in to bring the ribs back to the hips. And then slowly roll up through the ribs. And the shoulders release back and down as you lengthen up through the back of the neck. Excellent work. All right. Now, before we come into our hips any deeper, so we've done a lot of work in stacking and crossing, but to get into our hip flexors and our piriformis, it's going to be helpful to open up our quadriceps first. And for this one, we get to lie down on our side. Hello. Ugh. So I want this bottom shoulder to come forward. Okay, I want the bottom shoulder to come forward. Oh, not yet. Sorry. Keep the bottom shoulder underneath you. Use your arm as a pillow. My bad. I'm fast forwarding. Moving to the thing that we're doing next. We want our tailbone out, so lengthening through the tailbone, and the knees are directly in front of the hips. We're going to try and kick our own bottom with the top leg and then shift the knee away. And we're looking down our body to make sure that leg is parallel. The knee hasn't turned in and dropped down, and we're not lifting it up towards the ceiling. We're trying to kick our own bottom and keep the knee parallel. You might need to squeeze your bum a lot so that you're able to reach your leg and then bring it back into parallel. Then I want you to bring the knee forward slightly. Tuck your tailbone under and really suck your belly in. Cool. From here, I want you to squeeze your bottom to push the knee away from your hip. So squeezing the belly in, tucking the tailbone under, and then squeezing your bottom to push the knee away from the hip. And we should already be able to feel this through the front of the thigh, which we're working very hard on keeping in parallel. We're going to add on. We're going to start pushing the foot into the hand that's holding across the back of the ankle. We're going to do that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax in. And then see if the knee will shift slowly backwards. And again, tuck your tailbone under, squeeze your bottom, push the knee away for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring that knee all the way back, stack the foot, and now we're going to bring that shoulder out in front of us, the bottom shoulder. So your arm will be long and straight here, and we're going to rest the top hand on top of the bottom hand. So we're making like a shark fin or a hand sandwich. We're going to trace the line, the inside line of our arm, up the body. So we're staying in contact. We are actually touching our own body. It's yours, you're allowed to. All right, so we're coming across the collarbones, and we're trying to feel for when both shoulder blades touch the ground. This knee might shift, that's fine, allow it. Cool, so both shoulder blades touch the ground, and then once the elbow touches the ground of the top arm, we're going to open the chest so the palm faces the ceiling, and we're looking straight up. You're now going to turn your head so you're looking to the top arm. Good. Now follow the hand with your eyes as the hand comes back onto your chest. Lift the elbow off the ground as the hand slides across all the way, rolling over onto your shoulder to stretch the arm as far as you can. Let's bring that back. Slide the arm back along the inside of your arm. We're opening our back onto the mat, looking up at the ceiling. Now this time, keep following the hand once the elbow touches down, and we open out wide to the side. Again, folding at the elbow first, bringing the hand onto the chest, then lifting the elbow, and the head follows the movement as we close the book. Reaching, reaching, reaching as far as we can, and then coming back one more time. Tracing the hand across the body, opening out, and closing, folding. Once you get to the center, we're going to switch sides. So I'm just going to curl my knees forward, push through my arms to sit up, and come down onto the other side. Oh. All right, are you ready for the quad stretch of a lifetime? Your hand is a pillow, you're lying on your side, you're going to kick yourself in the butt. I'm going to sneak my arm away for this. And you're going to grab onto that foot and find parallel. You're using your top hand. I don't have options. So I'm going to find parallel, squeeze the bottom, tuck the tailbone under, and really push the knee away. Good. Feel into that stretch, get comfortable with it. And then we're going to push the foot into the hand as firmly as we can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Take the knee just a little further back and then tuck that tailbone under. Really draw the pubic bone up towards your belly button. Pull the belly button in and lengthen through the hip to push the knee away. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it. Now the bottom arm, we're going to roll onto that shoulder, reach the arm forward. The top arm is going to come across and then we're going to roll further forward so the hands are sandwiched, or reach further than you need to. We slowly slide the hand up the length of the inside of the arm. The shoulders rest down on the ground. We trace the hand across the chest until the other shoulder blade comes down, the elbow comes to the ground, and we open. We're looking at the ceiling. We're now going to turn the head and look at the hand. Bend the elbow, then touch your chest, then lift the elbow off the floor. Trace the hand across your chest, slowly lifting the shoulder, rolling onto the other shoulder, and stretching that arm as far as you can, and bringing it back. So we slide the hand up, keeping the shoulder away from the ear, tracing it over, and this time follow it with your head, looking over to the side. Once you're there, bending the elbow, bringing it back, and taking it all the way across, nice and slow. Coming back slowly, tracing it up. This is round 3. Follow with the head. We have one more round after this. So once you're in this T shape, really push the shoulder blades into the floor as you're looking to the left. And bring it all the way back over. And the last one, tracing it up. Rolling away. Opening out. Honestly, takes 4 of these. One side of our body is always a little tighter than the other. It takes me 4 of these to reach my full range. Great, and then once we come to the center, we're going to bring the knees up towards the ceiling. And we're going to find our softer prop. So not the harder prop, but the softer prop. And the next 2 stretches that we do are going to be really passive. So we're going to take this block first and we're going to open up the front of the hip. So we've done our quads, we've done some thoracic mobility. We're going to pop the block. I'm very comfortable with it in the upwards, so on its horizontal axis. If you have got very tight hip flexors, this could be enough for you. If you have moderately open hip flexors, this is likely to be your happy place. If you are super duper open, you can also turn the block to full height, which is here, but I find that that's just a little bit too much. You know, it's a little overreaching for me. I quite like this one, but you can try on whatever you want. So make sure you feel really supported. You can have a little rock here. Surrender the shoulder blades back and down into the ground so the palms can be face up. Unless you're uncomfortable, in which case, hold on, turn them face down. We do want to not be super uncomfortable here. We do want to be comfortable in our stretches so you can breathe deeply. Start to extend the right leg out. Let it release down and feel the length through the right hip. Keep both hips nice and evenly weighted into that block. And then bring the right foot back in. Find your center again, and then extend that left leg out. And let the left hip drop away. And just let gravity take over. Let it do the work for you here. Now we're going to bring the left foot halfway back. We're going to take the right foot halfway out to meet it. And we're going to see if
if it's possible for us to extend both legs, you'll need to flex your feet. And if you want some traction over the block, you can point and flex, and that'll shift you forward and back and make your low back a little bit comfortable. And you're looking for the sweet spot here. Nice. You're just here for another 10 seconds. Try and relax as much as you can. And then stepping the feet halfway back, stepping the feet all the way back, lifting the hips, so squeeze the bottom, and then curl the ribs in and roll down through the spine. And just give your knees a little shake from side to side. All right, we're going to stay here. We're going to take another little passive opening. We're going to place the block this way underneath our shoulder blades. So it's going to go right under the shoulders. So the base of the block will touch the tips of the shoulder blades. Keep your knees bent. In fact, my favorite way to start with this is with the knees and the toes facing each other to create more space through the low back so that we can really focus on the upper back. And then make sure you're in a position where your elbows touch the ground. I don't mind where that is, but we do want the elbows to touch down. And see if you can get your chin to tuck in with the back of the neck nice and long. And just letting your whole rib cage surrender down into either your folded up cushion or your soft block. And we're going to slowly tuck the chin to the chest, turn the palms face down, and bring yourself to sit up. We're going to turn the block the other way up now. It's going to follow the line of your spine. It'll need to start quite low in your waist. Cool. So your bottom's still got to be on the floor. If your head doesn't touch down, bring your hands under the base of your skull and support it. You might need to push your hands up a bit. You might have a second block or a second cushion, which I know I do somewhere, to support the base of your skull, the back of your head. And you can do that in any orientation you like. It can be here, or if you've got your block or box, you can fold your pillow up to make it higher, because this is a lot more intense. And I want those elbows on the ground, but closer to the body with the palms facing up now. Start with the knees together and the toes turned in, our beautiful little duck squat stance. And just let your body relax into that. And then we're going to see if it's possible and available for us to bring the soles of the feet together and release the knees out to the side. For me, I need to turn my hands over to get into that. It's not my favorite. But if you've got really open hips and loose adductors, it's probably fine for you. My adductors are way overworked right now. I would rather have a nice open chest and keep my knees together. Relaxing the jaw. Five more seconds. And then slowly coming back up to sit. All right, we are fast running out of time. I'm going to see if I can get us through I might go to 3 minutes past 11, guys. Sorry about that. We're going to do a stretch for our occipital, the base of the skull. I use the firm block, but I've been doing this stretch for a long time. You might want to use your soft prop. This one's quite tricky in that the block actually angles. Give me a moment. Yeah, it angles back. So we want that prop to push back into the base of the skull. So it's right against those two little nodes at the base of the skull, and you have to be able to keep your shoulders relaxed. It's much easier with bent knees than extended legs. We don't need to stay here very long. So we started at the feet. We worked through the backs of the hips, sides of the hips, along the back, coming up to the base of the skull. Wherever you can feel some pressure against those two occipitals with the chin gently tucked in and the back of the neck nice and long, the shoulders relaxed. I made that look really easy to do because I've had a lot of practice. You might spend this time just trying to find how you can get your prop to support those two nodes at the base of your skull. And that's okay too. Keep working on this in your own time. Feels amazing. It feels very intense at the time. So just breathe deeply and try and relax. But afterwards, it feels great. Just another 10 seconds here. And then very slowly lift your head off the block, remove the block, and just rest your head down for a minute. Let it move gently from side to side. Just making sure we feel okay. And then slowly coming up to sit. Coming onto our knees. Actually, I better go to the other side. I do want to get into our solas just briefly before we end. So 2 stretches. Yeah, I've got time. We're okay. So we're going to come into a short lunge. We're going to squeeze the underbutt, take the right leg forward. We want the left hip just in front of the left knee. Make sure we're on our train tracks so our joints line up with each other. So the ankle, the knee, and the hip are in a straight line on both legs. We're going to really squeeze this butt cheek on the back leg to push the hip forward without letting the pubic bone drop back. So I want to keep that pubic bone lifting as we squeeze the back bum cheek. This is my right leg in front. I'm going to rest my right hand on my knee. Left arm comes up by your ear. Get really tall here. Good. Drop the right shoulder down and start to tip to the side without pushing the left hip out. You want to keep the left hip being pushed forward by squeezing the butt cheek. See if you can press it a little further forward now. See if you can tip a little further to the side. And then bring your right arm up as well. You can step the right foot further in front now. Keep the pubic bone lifting as you press the left hip down towards the right heel. Just be really mindful that your right knee stays behind the ankle. Good. Stay on your train tracks. Really lift the arms, lift the ribs off the hips. Now bring the hands down to the inside of the right knee. Good. Keep the left hip pulling forward. A little bit of scoop through the pelvis as the left hip is pulling forward. And I'm going to squeeze the right knee into the shoulder for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now relax and shift your left knee further back, pushing that hip forward and down. Step your right hand to the outside of the right foot. Tuck your bottom under and curl your right toes towards your nose. Making sure that your left hip hasn't dropped back behind the knee as we scoop in and out, in and out, in and out, in and done. Bring your hand to the inside of the right foot. Whoops. Bring it back. And we're going to switch to stretch the other. So it's the other hip flexor. So the left foot comes forward into that short lunge. We check out our train tracks. Your left hand will sit on your left knee. And really squeeze the bum. Really scoop the pelvis forward and extend the right arm up. Taking the left shoulder down, getting taller and longer through the right side. Keep the right hip spiraling forward. See if you can lengthen and pull the right shoulder a little further back. Can we push those hips a little further forward now? And then bring your left arm up as well, getting nice and tall. Keep pushing the hips forward. Walk the left hip forward. And then keep the tailbone tucked, pubic bone lifting up as we lunge in deeper. Getting really long through the sides of the waist. Bring the hands down to the inside of the left knee. Pressing the left knee into the left shoulder, keeping that tailbone tucked, a little bit of scoop through the pelvis. Pressing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Take that right knee further back. And then push the hips forward and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step the left hand to the outside. Scoop back into our half split and then scoop the toe in and out, tracing that figure 8 through the ball of the left foot. Great, bring the left hand to the inside, bring the left knee back. To finish today, we're going to do an exercise called the rabbit. And this is to finish off that what we've got into here. Remember I said that the superficial back line of fascia connects into the forehead. So we're going to try and give that space a little bit of a massage. We're going to hold on to our heels, curl the spine forward and place our forehead on the ground. Cool, so your bum will be in the air. We want those arms nice and long. See where your forehead can touch the ground, but where you can massage forward and back. So we're starting on the forehead, massaging onto the top of the head and then back. Now you can always put that soft prop under your head if that's more comfortable for you. And you don't have to just do forward and back. You can go over to one side. Go over to the other side. And then just front and back again. And just resting in child's pose now. You can have the arms extended or keep them back beside your feet. If you're uncomfortable with your knees close together, you can take them wide to the side. Just staying here for 3 breaths, long, slow breaths. And then rolling up through the spine. This is the best bit. We get to do our roll up. So just create a little space between the feet so the hips line up with your sit bones. Press back through the hands so the heels reach for the floor. Curl the ribs in, chin to the chest. Heels press down, nod the head yes. Feel how nice and loosely it hangs. Shake the head no, an hour is not enough for restorative stretching. And then slowly roll up and stack 1 vertebrae at a time. At the top, lift the shoulders up, squeeze them back, slide them down. Do that 2 more times. And we are all done.